I don't know if you'd like to speak about the interrogation training.
Yeah.
What's that look like? Does that get close to what you actually experience?
There's never two, in any time a type of becoming a POW or being captured, I don't think there's ever two scenarios ever the same. It depends who's got you, you know, and where you are in the world and what group of people have got you. I mean, these people that got us, they've been in war for 4 or 5 years, you know. They weren't erratic, they weren't panicky, they were really calm about what they were doing, they knew what they were going to do. They had a plan for us. Luckily for us, that plan weren't to just fucking execute us. It could have been different had it been a different time in that war or a different location, you know. But yeah, the training that you do is as best as it can be without being beaten up. You do get kicked around a bit when you do interrogation because you're going to get roughed up. But, you know, they don't pull your fingernails out. They don't fucking cut you. They don't fucking, you know, stab you and stuff. But it's realistic in terms of the way you beat, the fact that you know, they put you through that process of now you've lost control of your life. Somebody else has got control of your life, whether you sit down, whether you stand up, whether you talk, whether you go to the bathroom. And it's hard, you can't imagine that. But if you think about that now, that's the scariest thing ever. Somebody telling you, do not move your head. Stay exactly as you are. Stand up. Sit, and you've got to do it. You know, you go, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Shut your mouth.
With a gun in your mouth. Or...
Yeah. You imagine that. I mean, and that's that. So combat survival and interrogation kind of gives you that foundation of what to expect and how to just go along with it. Play it as cool as you can, play it down, you know, don't antagonize the people, play tired, injured, fucking silly to a degree. All those skills, those just naturally kick in when you're in this scenario. But then there's always the serenity of that scenario, which it was, you know, and not realising that's a prison of war camp. And actually, we found out later on, the latter part of the war, when the war changed, we had a different role. We went into that place, and that was where they did a lot of the mass killings. That was the actual compound, the factory.
You know, with the situational awareness,
yeah.
When you're going up against someone or your experience with somebody, when someone's really calm versus when someone's erratic, what situation's better to be in? Like, with situational awareness, like, what's easier to judge?
When somebody's being erratic, I mean, obviously it stands out. You can see they're in control of things. You've got, if you're in a position where the people that are about to get you or are get you are erratic, you need to be fucking very calm because, you know, the likelihood is they'll panic and just fucking shoot you or kill you or, you know, or fucking beat you to death. You've just got to try and assure them, these erratic people, that you're not going to really put up a resistance. You're not no threat to them. You've got it, you're in control. At the same time, you're immediately kicking in a plan, how I'm going to get out of this. When I'm going to make my escape, how do I go about it, you know? So I think it's better sometimes to go up against somebody erratic because you can see they haven't all got it all together. So when somebody's calm, collected, it really messes with your mind because you think that this is calculated. What have they got their sleeve? What are they going to do? You know, they're in no rush to do whatever they're going to do. These have got it together. They've got a plan, as opposed to normally when somebody gets kidnapped. You know, a lot of it, if it ain't planned, which I'm assuming, in fact it was, that situation we were in was planned. They were going to do that. They were going to grab us. It was just too calm and calculated, as opposed to the opportunist. You know, it's a group of people fucking grab somebody. And we've got somebody. Now what do we do with them? They're the worst case because they don't really know what to do with you. And then they speak to their echelons, their groups behind them and go, oh, you've got the Westerners, hold them, we'll take them off you. It's then when you get fed up that chain, it gets a little bit more, you know, frightening, if you like. It's frightening at the start, of course, but it's kind of, they don't know what they're doing, really. They don't really know why they've got you, but so you've got to keep them calm so they don't get too trigger happy and kill you just for the sake of it. But there's no too soon. You know, you can talk to anybody who's been captive, and everyone's going to be different. You know, some are going to be more violent, some are going to be less violent, and some they're just going to fucking probably execute you.
We spoke about a few little, we spoke about Bosnia, but you mentioned that you said the Sean Penn beach story.
Yeah, I mean. What I'm talking about, this thing is a real life, basically, ambush that we came into. And of all places around the globe, it was in Haiti. And it wasn't a war zone. It was, a place of a massive natural disaster. But then it became, gangs looting and sort of gang warfare type thing, kidnapping. So the scenario, the situation I'm talking about, it was while we're out there, Sean had set up his NGO, helping the people. We were doing a business out there and a charity. And over a period of time, I think we'd been out there 4 or 5 months, maybe longer, maybe a year. So we were quite well established. And on this particular day, we were going to go up, support another bunch of NGOs that were opening up a bunch of houses for the people who had nothing. A real nice thing they were doing. I think it was for the deaf people. Anyway, he was an American friend of ours, and we're chatting and said, Sean, do you want to come up with us and, go to this? That's what it was. So we decided we'll go up there, support these people that are doing these great things, and then maybe go to the beach for an hour, because it was up in the beach area, which are beautiful beaches in Haiti. So that's what we did. Went up, anyway, been out all day, did that, coming back, so there's me, Sean, I'm driving, Sean's in the car in the front, my now wife Jules and 2 of her friends, female friends, are in the back. We're coming back normal day, we come down through a place called National Route 1, it's near a place called Cité Soleil. Cité Soleil is really the real poverty area, and there's a lot of crime down there, there is kidnappings, there's always been an issue. And at this particular time, the kidnapping thing had just stepped up more, they're realising grab a Westerner, because most people are paying money. It was a means of income to them. And on this particular day, we're coming back, and we're driving down through the outskirts of Cité Soleil off National Route 1. And as we come into this sort of built-up village, which was more shanty town thing, it's like a dirt type track. And as I'm coming down, it was almost like a scenario that we've done hundreds of times in the regiment. Situation awareness of spot the unusual, something's not right sketch. So we're all driving there in the back laughing, we're chatting, me and Sean. And I just clock in front of me, again, that's sixth sense, something ain't right. And I'm driving steadily down the road, and in the road, walking towards us, about 50 metres away at the moment, 3 people, 3 blokes, so around about the 20s age group. And they're walking to me, and I'm noticing just their demeanour, it looks to me like they've got weapons. And I'm not saying anything to anybody, but I'm clocking it, and I'm thinking, right, in my head now, I'm formulating a plan, and the plan's simple. I'm going to fucking run these over. And I ain't got time to brief them, tell them what's going to go on. And as I'm looking at them, beyond them is like a big old industrial lorry. And it's coming across the road, it's going to block the road. So as you're coming down the dirt track, down the right-hand side, where the truck is a bit of a pavement and a wall, solid brick wall. To the left are buildings, so I definitely can't get round to the left. The only way I'm going to get round is either before that lorry closes that gap, or I'm going to have to mount the pavement. And I'm watching this scenario, it's building up in my head. So as we're driving towards it, I kind of look at Sean, and I've got a feeling Sean's picked up on it as well. And now I've seen a pistol. I've seen a guy in a red jumper, and he's walking sort of, I can see the pistol in the bottom of his hand. The guy to the left had something, I couldn't tell what it was, whether it was a rifle down his side. And as we got near, they tried to bring the weapon up to stop us. So I just hit the gas. And I can see the lorries now trying to close that gap as well. They're all in this together. They're going to block us in and kidnap us or do whatever they're going to do. So I drive straight at these people. Sean's cool as a cucumber. He's got it. The girls in the back are screaming, wondering what is going on. He's lost his mind. So I literally, I'm aiming at them. That's now my weapon. They're getting it. So I go out and they dive out the way. I then fucking mount the curb and literally down the side, I'm almost scraping the wall. I'm fucking, before the truck can close us in, through the truck, and then just fucking spin it to the left and then just break down to normal driving again. And the girls go, ah! What the fuck's going on? I don't say anything. We're about 5 minutes away from our location, which was the hotel we were staying at, which was our hotel that we'd built. And then we drive into the hotel. They're white as a ghost. Sean's cool as a cucumber. I go to the bathroom. We get into the hotel. I thought, let's get a drink. We go into our little hotel foyer. The girls are still going, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's going on? All fucking disheveled. So Sean sat there and he's got a drink and he's got a napkin. I go to the toilet And then, mate, it's that moment, you know, like True Romance, where he talks to himself in the mirror. Go out there, stay cool. So I'm looking at myself going, what the fuck just happened? And I'm running it in my head. And I'm like, yeah, it did. So I come out, I don't say a word. I sit down next to Sean. Sean's got a map. He's got this napkin. He's just drew out exactly where he goes, these two here. And I went, yeah, exactly. You know, bang. And that's what it was. Anyway, to finish off that story, that was one of our best days. So that happens. Then I tell the girls what had happened. And they went, I didn't realise. And I think it was at that moment where I said to the girl, now my wife, Jill, says, if you are driving in a place like this, you have got to be prepared to use this thing as a weapon. And Jules never forgets that. I says, you have to be aware that is the only thing that's going to save your life in a scenario like this. Anyway, I jump forward about 2-3 days later. No, same day. A few hours later, we get a report from the UN. Someone's been kidnapped on the National Route 1. And what it was, same people, same location. This time it was a female working for the UN on the back of a bike. They shot the driver, killed him, took her, kidnapped her, and then whatever they did for 4 or 5 days when they held her, which was not good. Yeah. So it was just one of those mad, lucky situations, yeah.
As many of you know, we are independent creators and filmmakers, but there is a massive attack on us right now. Traditional media over the last few years has started to slowly die. They are no longer the independent voice that you first thought they were. That's why we've created Mulligan Brothers Patreon. We've built something special for our most dedicated supporters, and I want to break it down for you real quick. The supporter tier gets you ad-free early access to both video and audio versions of Mulligan Brothers interviews 24 hours before it goes public. The executive tier gets you everything that a supporter tier gets, plus more. Exclusive interviews and behind the scenes content, walk and talks, daily routines, unreleased interviews, the stuff that you don't see anywhere else. And finally, the executive producer tier. Everything from the supporter tier and the executive tier, plus exclusive perks. Access to our treatment packages. Be the first to see which guests are coming up and get insight into the topics we'll be discussing before anyone else. And you'll even get an executive producer credit on every single documentary that we make. So if you've ever wanted to support the Mulligan Brothers mission of inspiring change so we can go around the world and get these stories that nobody else will, this is exactly how you do it. Go to patreon.com/Mulligan Brothers or click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Join the community and help us inspire change.